Parshas Bamidbar in Eretz Yisrael b'chukoisai in Chutz La'aretz. In preparation to Shavuos, if we're discussing the topic of Bitachon, it will be appropriate to learn a bit about Bitachon when it comes to Ruchnius, to being successful in Torah, to be successful in serving Hashem. Which, it's a concept that sometimes it seems to be a bit complicated, because we could see in the Sforim contradicting messages about how does it work when someone wants to have Bitachon. He wants to trust in Hashem that he'll be successful in Avodas Hashem. On the one hand, there are Mamorei Chazal that we find that they say that when it comes to Gashmi, when it comes to a person who wants to be successful in money or whatever it is, he should just be trusting in Hashem. But when it comes to Ruchni, the good things, learning, davening, mitzvahs, you can't just trust in Hashem. You have to do. You can't say, I'm just going to sit back and say Hashem is going to do it for me. It's your job to just do whatever you're supposed to be doing, and you cannot just trust in Hashem. Gashmi is a person could be trusting in Hashem. There's many Mamorei Chazal about it. The Choybes Halvavos himself in the 4th perek of Sha'ar Bitachon is very busy explaining the difference between when it comes to Gashmis and Ruchnis, that by Ruchnis a person is supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. Imagine a person needs the money to be able to marry off a child, or better, a person sees his friend needs money to marry off a child, and he says, Hashem will help. I know, I've dealt with Hashem in the past, I can tell you, He's good, He'll take care of it. What else is new? No, you're supposed to get up and you're supposed to be doing something about it. You should do something about it. In Shidduchim B'chlal, you're supposed to do, you should try, whatever it is. So that teaches us that a person can't just say, I'm trusting in Hashem. And once again, the Choybes Halvavos clearly states there's a difference between when it comes to Gashmius, when it comes to Ruchnius. It's a very big difference.
It's not the parallel of the Ishtadlus you have to do in Gashmius?
No. The Choybes Halvavos says it's not the parallel in the Ishtadlus that you have to do in Gashmius. There are differences. We'll learn B'siyata D'Shma in this shir. It's very different Bitachon and Gashmius and when it comes to Bitachon and Ruchnius. And on the other hand, we know that the Choybes Halvavos and the Hagdom to Sha'ar Bitachon says that the main reason a person is supposed to be so invested in learning how to have Bitachon, proper Bitachon, is mainly for Ruchnius. Because when it comes to be successful in Ruchnius, in your learning, in your davening, in your mitzvahs, and not falling for Yetzer Hara, it's more important things in life. You need Bitachon there much more than you need it in Gashmius. And you won't ever be successful when it comes to Ruchnius, the aspects in life, if you don't learn to trust in Hashem. We know the Gemara Masechta Sukkah says, if Hashem is not going to help you, if you're not going to have special siyata d'shmaya, then you're not going to be successful. So it's very important to know how do you utilize this nuclear power of Bitachon when it comes to Ruchnius in the proper way. So you could say the Choybes Halvavos himself sometimes says this way, that way. Now there's a Zohar HaKadosh in Parshas told us, coming from Lag Boim, the Torah of Reb Shimon. The Zohar HaKadosh in Parshas told us speaks about this topic. What's proper Bitachon, what's not proper Bitachon. And he explains the difference between trusting in Hashem when it comes to Gashmius things in life, and trusting in Hashem when it comes to Ruchnius. And the Sforim explain 3 differences between when a person is trusting in Hashem when it comes to Gashmius and it comes to Ruchnius. 3 differences. And all 3 are linked to this Zohar HaKadosh in Parshas told us. It's in Kuf Mem Beis Omed Aleph. That's the Maramok and where it is in the Zohar HaKadosh. The number one, the easiest one of the above, is when it comes to doing the first step. When it comes to doing the first step, when a person wants to achieve, so a person must know that Hashem, when it comes to Ruchnias, Hashem told the person, you should know, I expect you to do specific things, and you cannot trust in Hashem that it's going to get done. You have to go do it. That's the beginning. You have to initiate. But the whole rest of it, what's going to happen because of the mitzvah that I started, that's where the person trusts in Hashem. Which is the Maimon Chazal, Haboli Tayr, Messiah Noisai. The Zohar HaKadosh clearly explains that a person, when it comes to Ruchnius, has to have Bitachon in Hashem, that the person must start, and Hashem will finish it. Hashem will make it be successful, will end it off, and he's trusting in Hashem, that's what Hashem is going to do. Now this is different than when it comes to Gashmi, is that a person doesn't know what they're supposed to be doing, because there isn't a mitzvah specifically that you have to do A, B, C. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So a person starts off originally having bitachon, and then he's trying to figure out if he's supposed to, maybe he's not supposed to do anything about it. Many situations a person is in, I don't know if I'm supposed to do anything, and if a person doesn't know, many times, sheval tasa, rather don't do something than to do the wrong thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to answer back. I don't know if I'm supposed to pick up the phone. I don't know. So when a person doesn't know, most probably he's not supposed to do anything. A lot of times it's gray area. When it comes to mitzvahs, a person's supposed to do something, but then he has to know that I'm trusting in Hashem, that Hashem is going to be Messiah, Hashem is going to help me for the whole end of it. Now let's give a few examples. Let's give examples, understand. Simple examples from our life. Cleaning the house from chometz. Simple example. There's a mitzvah esed d'oraisa, clearly, that a person before Pesach should clean the house. It shouldn't be full of chometz. Clean the house from chometz. Now that, a person can say, I trust in Hashem. Listen, there's winds out there. I open the window, all the chometz will just fly out. Or maybe someone's going to come to my house and do all the cleaning for me. I really trust in Hashem. No, there's a mitzvah. You have to start. But then you have the person that starts doing the mitzvah, and within a few minutes or hours gets hyped up and all nervous and pressure, and how's this going to finish, and how does this going to work? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It makes no sense. It's crazy. It doesn't. And a person just loses it. Why is that? That's because they don't have bitachon that they're going to, the Hashem is going to make sure that it's just going to work out. So you could have that, and not only you have to have bitachon in Hashem for the success of the mitzvah, for the hemshech of the mitzvah, but you cannot start off with that. You have to start cleaning your house of chometz. And if you feel you need to have a week, start a week before. If you feel 2 weeks, a month, but then you say, how am I going to finish? This is crazy. I didn't do the kitchen yet. I still have so many other things. A lot of times something comes up a week before Pesach which doesn't let you clean for chometz. Hashem's going to help me. It's fine. Hashem never expected me to be Superman, Superwoman. Hashem wanted I should do a certain amount of hours of the day, and Hashem is going to help. It's just going to work out. But how? I don't know. That's called Bitachon Ruchnius. That's Haboli Tar. You have to start. If you start, Hashem will be Messiah, will finish it, and you are calming yourself down constantly throughout that week / month or whatever it is, trusting in Hashem that Hashem will finish it off for you. That's one example. Second example. A person wants to understand what they're learning. They want to learn Gemara. They want to learn Halacha. They want to learn Hilchos Lashon Hara. They're very important limudim. They can't sit and say, I trust in Hashem. Hashem is just going to tell me what's right and what's wrong. Well, I'll just know. You can't do that. You have to sit down, make yourself a chavrus or whatever it is to learn Shmiras Haloshen, or to learn Hilchas Shabbos, or whatever it is that's important for you to learn. But once you start, you're looking, do I remember, don't I remember? You're looking back and forth, how am I going to finish? I'm going to be busy. Hashem is going to help me. Because I'm learning right now because I want to conquer I want to learn it. I want to finish it because I want to know it, not because of anything else. Hashem's going to help me. I'm tired. I'm going to sit down and Hashem's going to help me succeed. I have to do the beginning, and it's supposed to give me energy. It's supposed to give me the Hashem is supporting the person. The Bitachon supports the person to give him koyach. To you just do yours. You start. You do yours. Hashem is going to help me succeed. We mentioned before, a person comes over to you and says that I have nobody else, and I'm turning to you. Maybe you could help me. I really need some funds for this, for that, for sometimes medical, sometimes to be mechanech children, sometimes to marry off a child, sometimes it's a crazy case. And he comes over to you and he tells you, could you please help me? I know you can't. I know you could give me small money, but could you maybe make some phone calls for me? I don't know if I could. I don't really know anybody. And anyways, even if I do, how much could I? You do something. You do something. You're mechuyev to do something. You'll do something. Hashem is going to help that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You cannot make nobody has the handle on the results. But you could, and you have to start knowing that when you start, that I'm not going to make it happen. Knowing that if I do mine, Hashem is going to do the rest. Just a few days ago, there's a story going around, which is such an important story. If the Chaz is such a story, it just happened. There's a famous organization, Hagefen. It's originally in Israel. Now they're expanding to America, to Europe, to help people get engaged. All the Bochrim, all the girls get engaged. Hagefen. It's run by Reb Chaim Shmerle, the Rosh Hashiva of Oraisa. And he's going around to all Kehilas, helping people, technically, how to help people get engaged. So he has a younger man that went to America, and he was trying to raise some funds, because they do a lot. So someone walks over to this younger man, and he tells him, I'll give you $15,000. Me and my friends collected $15,000 cash. If you could please think, you have all the info because they collect data. If you think of a shidduch for our friend, we have a friend, he's 29, a bocha, he needs a shidduch, please sit down. I'll give you $15,000 for your organization. He says, okay, I'm going to try, I'm going to see. A week passes, he doesn't answer. He calls him back, he said, did you do something? He says, no, I was busy, I was collecting. He says, why are you busy collecting? I'm giving you $15,000, sit down, try to figure something else. I said, okay, I'll see. Another few days go by, nothing going on. He calls him back and he tells him, why aren't you doing anything about it? You're neglecting $15,000? So this person went and he called the Reb Chaim Shmerle. And he says, this person is trying to raise funds, and why is he just not doing anything? He says, okay, I'll talk to him. The next day, this younger man calls back the person that offered him $15,000. It goes there's a few details. Reb Chaim Shmerle asked him, are you willing to give 18? Are you willing to give 20? He says, until 20. I'm not giving more than 20. I can give you 20K. He says, okay, it'll be taken care of. This younger man calls him back and he says, how are you raising this $20,000? He says, we have a couple of friends, we're willing to do anything to get the boy engaged. He says, okay, so I want to sit down with you and all the friends. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, I want to sit with you. He sat with them. And he says, okay, I want to make a matching campaign. But he says, I don't need $1. I don't need $1. He says, I need from you, you should give altogether, I don't know if he said 100 hours, or whatever it is, if you could think of ideas, what could be a shidduch for that boy? You know the boy. You guys are all friends of the boy. You give 20 minutes. All right, 20 minutes. Together with friends, you could give 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm collecting time to sit and think and brainstorm. And if you go to your shvagas to ask your brother-in-laws, your sister-in-laws, they collected an amount of hours. And he said, okay, but before we start the campaign of the hours, there's a pre-campaign. That's how they always do in these charity campaigns, to get to get everybody into it, to collect more hours and hours, to know we're starting over 100 hours. Within a few days, the boy was engaged. Before the campaign started, the boy was engaged. He's one of the people. Had a korav, and she thinks she knows a girl. It took a few days. The boy was engaged. And it's such an important story. It has so many aspects to it. People today's days, we're going to get back to the Bitachon in a second, but just before, people today's days say, I don't want to get involved. Take my credit card and get me out of it. You could help. You could really help. Give 20 minutes a day. Give 20 minutes to make a phone call. It's emes. But here comes the second part, and that's so important for our shir. It's so important for our shir. That the way it works is that you need a nest. You need Hashem should bring the success to the story. Hashem will only bring the success to the story if you give your part that Hashem specifically told you. I want you to do A, B, C. And then ABC is not going to bring the success, but that's going to connect to Hashem, where Hashem brings D, E, F, G, the whole rest of the story. Haboli, Tara, Messiah, so when it comes to Ruchnius, a person is usually very lazy, very, very lazy. And the person doesn't know how to juggle these two parts. Number one, you must do the first part. Number two, do not believe that because you did something, it's going to bring the success. It's not true. It's not true. I picked up the phone and I tried. I spoke to him. It's not going to make anything. People feel so good sometimes after they pick up a phone. If it's this big, rich, wealthy man, and the guy says, how much do you need? He says, could I ask for 25K? He says, call him back in 5 minutes. The guy's like, he messages his friend. He says, okay, I spoke to him. It should be done. Yeah? It's such a mistake. It's such a mistake. Usually he'll find out. Hashem will be nice to him and show him that it was a mistake. And he won't get a red cent from the guy. Because you had to make that phone call. And if you don't make that phone call, you made that mistake. The Chovos always talks about. That you trust in, it'll be good. No, it won't be good. Pick up the phone, don't be lazy, and call the person for money. Or pick up the phone and ask the person, maybe he knows someone that has a shidduch. Yes, do it. But do not think for 1 second that guy has a daughter. He doesn't. Or that this phone call is going to make it. You believe in a mitzvah. If I do the beginning of the mitzvah, that's going to trigger the success to the mitzvah. We spoke about cleaning for chametz. It's the same concept. You have to have like 10 mishalim to get it, because you have to have it in all angles to have it. Ruchni is the good things. Hashem says, I want you to pick yourself up and do the beginning, because that's mitzvah, that's bittul to Hashem. And the success, that's going to trigger the second half.
If I can ask on that story, if one of the friends says, I'm no good at phone calls, I'm terrible, I'm shy, I want to help my friend, I have money. There are people that know how to do these things. I'm going to give money to somebody who knows how to look and make phone calls. Isn't that a legitimate decision?
It is. He's asking if a person says, I'm not good at making phone calls, but I have money, I'll help with money. L'choira makes a lot of sense. I'm going to support the people that know how to do it. I'm going to add to your question. Let's say Yidden in Ukraine are in massive danger, and a person says, I'm not in Ukraine, I have no contacts in Ukraine, I could help the people that are there to be able to save people. It makes so much sense. Yes and no. And let's explain. The concept is a straightforward concept. It makes sense. It's not krum. It's not off. It's not like when a person thinks like that, he's off. No. It makes sense. You can help. So support it financially. But many times it has a bit of the Yetzer Hara, and it's so important to explain it and learn it. People want to be lazy. When it comes to Shidduchim, people are not comfortable to pick up the phone. People are lazy to think of ideas. Now, the laziness, a person doesn't have a teretz. The laziness, I don't want to think. I'll give another example, and then we'll come back to this question to explain why. And it's so important because it's day to day. All the things are mamish day to day. When it comes to chinuch of children, another example. A person, like all Tayag mitzvahs, Hashem put on us a duri. We should be oisik to be mechanech our children. It includes a lot. It includes to learn with them, to teach them midas, to teach them what's right and wrong, to be there for them, listening to them, to love them, and it doesn't end. The long list, it doesn't end. Now, as an example to the concept that we started with, once again, we see clear like day, that a person could invest everything his whole life, and he wasn't so successful. It's not a machine. It's not a machine. On the other hand, people that didn't do much, people that have houses that people could promise you that it's not possible to come out of that house normal. Forget about Yiddish and everything. And all of a sudden, it doesn't make it boom. One child grows up and he's the tzaddik and a gadol. Who, what, when? So we don't have to elaborate. And what's the answer? What is a person supposed to know? What's negeya for the person? Besides not knowing Cheshbon Shemayim, that's one of the nekudas. Besides not knowing Cheshbon Shemayim, once again we go back to this. A person knows, I have to start. I must do what I'm supposed to be doing, and the rest I have to trust in Hashem. And one is not on the cheshbon of the other. That means I cannot say that I daven for my children. The rest, sorry. That's what I do. I daven for my children. No. You're supposed to be doing specific things besides davening. Because the same way a person can't just daven for esrik, he has to also buy an esrik and shakul of an esrik. Same, you have to, there's certain obligations that you have. So that explains the concept that we said before. You have to do, you cannot say, I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing. And you have to know that Hashem is the one that really brings results. And Haboli Tar Messiah knows it. But once again, we're back to what you mentioned, this beautiful question. Many people make the mistake and they say, listen, I don't have the Yishuv Adas. I don't have the time. I just don't have it to be able to sit with my child or whatever. I paid someone and that's it. Or I pay schar limud, or I pay for someone that should be his mentor, or whatever it is. And leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. It's a concept. The more we get spoiled in life, the more we try to cut corners in Torah and mitzvahs with this concept. People have it when people take care, they have people, whatever it is, they have a driver. They have people take care of their, whatever it is.
They have a handyman, they have a staff.
Yeah, they have a staff. They make a simcha. They don't want to get busy with all the details. They have a guy. Talk to my secretary.
An event planner.
An event planner and everything. Talk to my secretary. Get out of my life. I don't have koyach for this. So in Gashmi, I think it makes sense. And it also makes sense when a person is a very busy person and he cannot get stuck with details. Of course it makes sense. But people try to do it when it comes to ruchnias as well. They say, the ruchnias of my children, don't get me involved. You just tell me how much you need, swipe my card, and get me out of it. That is not the way it's supposed to be. And the same is with tzedakah. The same with tzedakah. People get used to it. They say, you need tzedakah, talk to my secretary. So part of it, you're allowed to do. A person is not mechuyev that he has to give chunks of his day to, in tzedakah. It gets very, very sticky and it's gray area. True. But You cannot say, I don't do chesed. Talk to my secretary. You can't do that. It doesn't work. You have to be able to pick up the phone and try to do chesed. You could say, I do chesed, I can't do it the whole day, I do it certain hours. I could say, sometimes the things I think it's not good for me, so I'll do a different type of chesed. Okay. 100%. You can't tell people everything. People really have different tools and nefesh, different nisyonis. But the concept is, going back to what you mentioned before, let's say about Shidduchim, he says, I'm just going to support. It's true. It has truth to it. Help the people that know how to do it. But don't let it make you be a lazy person and not use your mind, or not want to give away your time, or not want to, because you don't want to, you just want to get away from it. Because if you look closely, you'll see it's not only shidduchim, and a lot of things that you could do and you're lazy. In Ukraine, you can't go, it's true. But so many things you could do, and you just don't want to, so you just with money, you want to get finished with it. We didn't even finish the examples that have to do with this one of the above. Even just having children is also has to do with the same concept. A person has to get married. A person is mechuyev. Can't say I'm just trusting in Hashem. But a person has no idea what's going to happen. Nothing. Has no idea. That's the first part. So what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what's the end of it financially and b'chalal. Person doesn't know. I know I have to do the beginning. And I trust in Hashem. Hashem is going to help me. Whatever's going to have to happen is going to happen. I trust in Hashem. I trust in Hashem. I start and I trust in Hashem. So that's the first of the we said we're going to discuss today 3 differences between Ruchnius and Gashmius. Going back, in Gashmius, a person doesn't know what the beginning is, what they're supposed to be doing. So they're supposed to be trusting from the beginning. Sometimes they're supposed to be oisik b'yishuv ha'olam, but they don't know if what they're doing right now is for sure something that Hashem wants them to do, and a lot of times they're not even supposed to do it. So many times they're not even supposed to do it. By Ruchnius, it's very clear. Is this a mitzvah? So I do the beginning of the mitzvah. I do the beginning of the mitzvah, I start, Messiah Noisa. Hashem is going to help me. That's number 1. Now let's go to number 2, a difference between Gashmius and Ruchnius. That's about being sure when you start trusting. Which means, when a person is trying to have enough money to buy a house, a person is hoping to have enough money to buy a car, or any other, it doesn't have to be only with money. A person wants to be successful to get a certain job, and they applied for the job, they tried doing this and that, they invested in a business, whatever it is, and then they are trusting in Hashem. Hashem is going to help them be successful. Whenever it comes to Gashmius, a person never knows what Hashem wants. Maybe it's good for me, maybe it's not good for me. So then, the trusting in Hashem will always be, I trust in Hashem, Hashem is going to lead it for the best, whatever is best for me. That's constantly the person remembers that. And the person doesn't know. The person doesn't know what's best for him. A person doesn't trust in Hashem, Hashem will do this and that. Not only that, even when it comes to life and death, the Zohar Kodesh uses an example that Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah made a very big mistake. When they jumped into the fire, and they threw them into the fire by Nebuchadnezzar, in the beginning, they trusted Hashem, that Hashem is definitely going to save them. The Novi Yecheskel came to them and told them, you're making a big mistake. Who said Hashem wants that? Who said? Maybe Hashem wants you to be Zechmas Nefesh. Not only that, the Zohar Kodesh says that they made a mistake because now all the people around said, of course they're masking to be in the fire because they know they're going to be saved. If they would know they have to give up their life for Hashem, they wouldn't even do it. So what's the chokhmah? And the Novi says, you lost the opportunity of Kiddush Hashem. You know what real Kiddush Hashem is? You're supposed to jump into the fire because that's the right thing. And then you're supposed to know that Hashem is definitely going to do what's best. I don't know. Maybe he's going to save me, maybe not. He never said he's going to save me. That's real. That's the real way. And when it comes to bitachon, in so many areas in life, a person, I trust Hashem, Hashem is going to do the best for me. I don't know if a person doesn't have children. It can be painful, but it's the truth. I don't know. I don't trust in Hashem. Hashem is definitely going to give me children. It could be that there's no reason to assume that, based on whether there's no reason to live in bitterness. No. Think good. Hashem is going to help. I don't know 100%, but I know for sure Hashem is going to make it to the best. Yeah, that I know 100% sure. When it comes to Ruchnius, on the flip side, here we go, that a person could trust in Hashem. Hashem is definitely 100% going to help me succeed in Ruchnius. For sure.
Maybe, let's say a person decides, I can be a great Rosh Yeshiva, I want to make a big yeshiva for 1,000 Bachrim. Hashem is certainly going to help me. It's Ruchnius.
So a person decides he's going to be a Rosh Yeshiva, and Hashem is going to help him have 1,000 Bachrim, and he's going to be funded, don't forget. Yeah, he'll have the proper people that are going to fund the yeshiva, and it'll be a massive Kiddush Hashem. So that's called that a person, that's like Hananim Shal Vazaya. That means the person doesn't know, it doesn't say anywhere in the Torah that Hashem needs him to be a Rosh Yeshiva. It could be. It doesn't have to be that not, but it doesn't have to be that yes. So a person cannot trust in Hashem that that's what's going to happen. A person can't trust Hashem is definitely going to help me. A lot of people made that mistake. They're still in debt, still from then. That means they took loans, the bank, billions of dollars, the building and whatever. Nothing happened. They said, and they don't know what to think. They're all frustrated because they trusted in Hashem. Because what do you mean? They did it for the shul. They did it for it's a very big mistake. It's a very, very big mistake. It's a mistake a lot of people make. What do you mean? I did it for the yeshiva, for the shul, for the chassidus. He has mortgages and don't ask. He's messed up. It never said that this specific route that you decided to take, that's the route that Hashem wants you to take, and that's for sure that's going to work. But success in Ruchnius, that's part of Taryag Mitzvahs, that yes. Now let's give examples where a person that has the certain areas in Torah Mitzvahs, which is non-negotiable. It means you have to do it. Be successful in tefillah, to daven. There's a lot of challenges to be able to be successful in tefillah. A person finishes the one challenge, the second one comes up. There are many challenges. I don't know if anybody gets away scot-free from all these challenges. It's be'emes. It means it takes years. It could take years. There's challenges getting up in time. There's challenges in being able to concentrate. These are real things, to be able to concentrate. There's challenges in finding the right minyan, the right pace. There's challenges in being able to prepare that before davening, till a person gets the right state of mind, the right heritage, the right feelings, so many aspects in davening. Now, a person that trusts in Hashem, that if I am going to try, and I'm going to figure out, I'm going to change my Seder Hayoim, I'm trying. And he fell flat on his face, don't think. Yeah, but he tries again. Again, from this side and from the other side, and back and forth and all. Then Hashem's going to help him to be successful in davening. Promise you. There's no Yotzem and Aklal. But he has to do his part. He could be sure, that's the difference. He could be sure. It's not pashered for the person not to be successful in davening. Period. The same is with learning. A person wants to be successful in learning. He doesn't know how it's going to happen. He doesn't know. He wants to give a shir daf hayomi. He feels that's what it is. Shir daf hayomi. Now he tries and he does this and he does that. He lives in, I don't know where, he's trying to get a few people together, can't get the people together. He buys for him, he advertises, puts ads in the papers, he makes robocalls, he gets the whole city upset at him. Yeah. He does he's trying to get nisht. Well, it could be because he was looking to do a specific thing. Why are you doing a specific thing? You try to be successful in Torah. You don't know how. You can't know who's going to knock on your door to be your chavrusa. You don't know who's going to be that person. One day the guy's going to knock on your door. One day you're going to find a sefer, which you're going to say, why didn't I know about the sefer 10 years ago? It just opened up my mind. I don't know why when I learned here I could concentrate. One day Hashem is going to, you don't know why, you just took out the right Gemara, and you say, this Masechta I love. I'm addicted. One day that's going to happen. You don't know how. Promise you don't know how. But if you are going to try everything, knowing that I don't know how, I don't know in which surah, but I have to be successful in learning. If I forgot for a week to daven for that, I'm going to daven again. I have to be successful in learning. Nothing doing. Parnasa, with jobs, with cheshbonis, with my family, it doesn't make a difference. I have to be successful in learning. He will be successful in learning. He should try and know not to get burnt out midway, because I trust in Hashem. In the end it's going to come. For sure in the end it's going to come. I don't know how. I don't know exactly how. That's the vados. The vados is, and we said davening and learning, the same as with mitzvahs. Being successful, not speaking Lashon Hara. Being successful in eating things with a proper hechsha. It doesn't finish because Tarek mitzvahs is so many things. Rosh Hashiva is after Tarek mitzvahs. But there's so many things that it's simple math that I know that I have to. If it's something that you know that you have to be successful in, and are all things that I know I have to be successful in this, then you could trust if you try.
An example of success in Torah, that doesn't mean that he's going to be Rabbi Akiva Eger, that he says, I trust it. Yeah. Rabbi
Akiva Eger is like being a Yeshiva. Once again, successful in Torah means he's going to find Hashem in the Torah. He's going to feel close to Hashem when he's learning Torah. That's what's called success in Torah. He's going to feel that I'm changing through the Torah. It's doing something to me. It's clicking with me. It's doing something. That's called success in Torah. A person that has success in Torah is elevated. He's refined. He knows that it's happening. He wants more of it. If it's about fame, if it's about a stelle, if it's nothing. It's not that, man. For sure not. That's not what it is. So once again, in Gashmias, you never know what's the right thing and what's the outcome is supposed to be. So you can never trust. You could trust in Hashem. Hashem is going to bring what's supposed to happen. In Ruchnius, for sure. If it's the right thing, for sure. That's another big chiluk, and this is all mentioned in the Zohar HaKadosh. And just to top it, the third of the differences between Gashmius and Ruchnius is a piece of Reb Tzodik and Tzidkas HaTzadik Oiskuf Mem Beis. He mentions the Zohar HaKadosh and it says something fascinating. He says that B'Inyonei Olam Hazeh, a person is not allowed to trust that Hashem is going to make a nest with him. It takes away his sechusim. If a person understands that he needs a nest, in Gashmius, you shouldn't be boiteach on a nest. You shouldn't do things that bring you into a situation. Daven for a nest. Person davens, it should be derech hateva. But when it comes to ruchnius, it matters. A person could trust in Hashem that Hashem will make a nest with him. Totally. Hashem is going to make a nest. Me'ala derech hateva. What does it mean that a person feels he's going to have a nest? So Reb Tzadok explains. Sometimes a person knows that he did many avedas, and in the mathematical equation, with so many avedas, it is not going to work. He says it would be nice, but if he could restart, but he messed up, man, really messed up. He looks in the Surah and what he did. What a duster and a shama, and he messed up in so many ways. He says that the pasuk says in Tehillim, "V'lerosha omer elikim malachol asaper chukay." The Hashem talks to the Rosh and tells the Rosh, "I don't need you to learn my Torah. I don't get out of here." And he feels that they're going to be doichem, they're going to be pushed away. A person has to believe in nisim when it comes to his ruchnis, success, growth, and he should believe in it and trust Hashem is going to make an nest with me. Trust, and you're not going to lose the schusim. The Zohar Kodesh, when he talks about having real bitachon, it talks about the pasuk Ashrei Odom Oiz Loi Boch. It means he has a strong bitachon. Boch, the Zohar Kodesh explains, means when it comes to ruchni, in the Hashem. Boy means Hashem. Mesilois belavovam. Mesilois means a pathway. So the Reb Tzadok explains there's the regular way, and then there's ways that it's not the regular route, like how the people got to Miron from the other ways. Those guys. There's no route, there's no highway. It's not on the highway. It's not the regular way, but there's a hidden route, a hidden way how you could reach the real bitachon. Hashem, a person knows Hashem is chote chatira mitachas kisei hakoved, which means Hashem would dig a tunnel for a person when there's nothing there. Dig a tunnel to get a person to get there. Hashem, it's built on what we live on the other two things that we mentioned. It's built. A person knows that Hashem wants him to be successful in his kirvus elikim. Hashem wants the person to be successful in ruchnius, in all aspects where a person is for sure supposed to be successful. Not only the person is sure Hashem is going to help him, the person knows that Hashem makes nisim for that to happen. Things that don't make any sense at all, Hashem is going to make a mess. And, if you think about the odds, what's the chance for certain things to happen? They say 1 in a million. What's the chance for this to happen? Person, when it comes to ruchnius, knows for sure, I could be b'teach on a nes. I'm so sure that it includes a nes. That's how strong it includes a nes. In Gashmis, a person can't go there. A person has to be with 2 feet on the ground, understanding, listen, this is the matziv. I guess this is what Hashem wants. I believe Hashem can do everything. But I understand that Hashem must do it for me because I want it to happen, because I'm going to be devastated if it doesn't happen. I don't know. A person has a certain bittul. When it comes to ruchnius, it's not a stira with bittul. A person knows Hashem wants me to believe that. He wants me to believe that it could happen. It could be a nes. And it includes a lot, because if you think into it, it could mean a person should understand Gemara. It could be a success in ruchnius for a child is a nes. Once a person, we all know that. When a person is messed up in ruchnius and all that, the person should go back on the route. It needs a nes. A person could trust the nes is going to happen. I don't know how, I don't know when, I have no idea. But as long as a person doesn't box it in, because once a person boxes it in, we said before, Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi Kiva Eger, and all that, some people box it in when they make a mistake. It has to be their Chasidus. They box it in. Why do they do that? The nefesh, the neshama is going a certain direction, and they're gonna fight it. They're gonna bloody fight. They're boxing it in. Then they're not going there. They're not going in the right direction. If the person is saying, a person believes that the person should be davak in the Rebbeinu Shalom. The person should become closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's all. That's all the person wants. Then Hashem is going to make him a nes. You could be beiteach in a nes when it comes to ruchnius. So these are 3 differences between Gashmis and ruchnius, and better said, 3 important bitachons that a person must have. That a person should know that's what I need to do to be successful in ruchnius. And a person has bitachon, Hashem is going to help him. Because Hashem helps anybody that has bitachon. As long as it's the right bitachon. That's all. We have to be busy learning. It should be the right bitachon. If you have the right bitachon, there's no yotzim and aklal. It's so exciting. People are so in doubt because they say, listen, I don't know. I'm so scared to put my trust into something because if I'm going to fall flat on my face, then I'm going to be so devastated. That's only said when a person doesn't have clarity what they're supposed to be having bitachon, what not. And then it's taken away from them the privilege, the geschmack, to be able to have real bitachon. if a person understands that when it comes to Ruchnius, once they zoom in and they are on that's a mitzvah. That I'm supposed to have, then they could have 100% Bitachon that's the right thing. We could just say a mashal, finish off with this mashal. That when a person, I'll finish off with this concept, when you have a stage that you don't know if it's strong enough, that people could dance on it, or parenches, all those, you don't know if it's strong enough. So you say, you can't go on it, I don't know, you shouldn't dance, you shouldn't stand, you shouldn't walk, because I don't know, maybe it's going to just cave in. If you have a mahandes, an engineer, you have someone that knows these things have klolim, they have rules, you have these X's, you have the pressure coming, things have, once you know that it's built right, then it's fine. Then now you could really stand, you could dance, you could do whatever you want. You could have 500 people standing on it. But the person that has no idea, so he doesn't know, so he walks over it, he tries saying, you think it's strong? You think it's strong? He sits down and it's not how you check if it's strong or not. When you trust on something, you trust in a person, you trust in Hashem. People, they don't learn before what you're supposed to trust or not. So they walk over and they say, okay, I think I'll have a bit of bitachon. I don't know, a lot, a little. They mix it up with a bunch of things. Then they can't have real bitachon. If you know, laser pointed, yes, this is supposed to have a bitachon, then you could trust all the way. You'll trust all the way, you'll get it. Because that's real bitachon. That's called connecting to Hashem. So that's very important when it comes to shvuos, and a person's supposed to really daven and hope that they should get a better year in Ruchnius. It should be a better year. They should, the mayones of Chochmah should open up. The fountains of Chochmah, of Torah, they should be successful. Trust in Hashem. Hashem's going to give you a good year in Ruchnius. Trust in Hashem. If you do the right thing, you should trust. You should use it. You should get totally invested. And Hashem will definitely help that a person is going to be successful.